there, this is YOKAY Games with the unboxing of Duck Duck Mousse. Now, the version that you see in front of you is the complete version and a significant update from the first 3 iterations of the box and game over the past year of development. Our goal with this was to make sure that it was a significant box that could fit the expansions as well as the base game, we'll get into that, and also that it would fit well on a shelf either sideways or flat. The back hasn't changed much over the past year, but of course there will be a barcode and a couple other updates. This notice is for the Kickstarter, but eventually we'll have an official version with a SKU. So the cool thing about this box is that it fits the base game, but it also fits the expansions. Ideally, we reach those stretch goals so that the expansions are included in this version, but without them, it would still fit just fine. These are the rules. It's an expanded rule book compared to the Z-fold that we had previously. We've got our contents, intro, terminology, and then we've got our various rule sets. Now, I won't get into these. We'll have a different video about the rules beyond the how to play overview that we've had, but just an overview of that overview. We've got our normal rules. We've got variations for those normal rules, and that's the turn-based Duck 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 Mousse game. Then we've got our in-style rules, which include the stylish animal cards. We've got our base game of in-style rules with variations for that base game. And then the expansions that are our stretch goals expand the in-style rules. What's really cool about that is we can play with either or both of the expansions with the in-style rules. And so you'll see down here there's an expansion note that explains how to play with either or with both and how those rules might be changed. The great thing about this, and what we've heard from a lot of our playtesters and reviewers, is that they love the fact that there are 3 ways to play these games with variations, and then the expansions will continue to build excitement for, let's say, kids who might have started playing this game at age 8, but then they're 10 and they like more variations, or maybe they like more strategy involved. This adds a lot of strategy. Both of these expansions do. So you can think of these expansions as in-style plus. And we'll get into those rules and how they work in the future, but we'll also review that a little bit when we look at the expansion cards. And then, of course, the last main way to play is the blowout rules. It's similar to the beginning rules, except the first game is turn-based, and the blowout rules is not turn-based. You're aiming for your moosed ducks with everyone else playing into the center at the same time. It means you can steal from each other, which is super fun. And then there's, of course, a variation or 2 for that set of rules as well. There's a lot of different ways to play, and we tried to make it as compact as possible in this basically 4-panel instruction booklet. So then we look at the box innards. Now in the box we've got our well with small sides to keep things condensed in the center, and then we've got a 1-piece insert as part of this well that divides up these cards into 3 wells. And the great thing about that is that we can keep these different types of cards separated from each other, because some games do not require all of the cards in the deck. We'll explain that in a second. So you bring your ducks out, and then these portions of the divider are easily movable, so it's much easier to grab the other game cards from the center or from the left. So we'll take these out, and then we'll go through each set of cards. But as you can see, this well is designed in such a way that it's just 1 piece, cut up really well, so that you can have these separations. And then you've got your 78 ducks. In the center, you'll have your base game stylish animals, as well as your 2 types of mousse, gray and blue. And all 3 of the base games just play with these 3. And then you've got your expansion cards. And these are, as I've mentioned, stretch goals. each expansion is a different stretch goal because they add a certain level of rules and more complexity to the artwork, that sort of thing. The Full Feather expansion includes a variety of birds like the Tutti Frutti and the High and Mighty and Crane-Mane, etc. Maybe. The reason I say that is because as part of the campaign, backers we will eventually have polls on which of these we'd like to include, because we actually have more than we need designed. And we want to make sure that we do, the backers have a say in which of these will be included in the final game. And then there's an aviary card. Per the rules for the Full Feather, there's an aviary, and when people gather birds as part of the regular play, they put them in the aviary until they can have a card in their hand that connects with enough in the aviary to make a set. Let's say there are 2 humdingers in the aviary. If I pick up a humdinger, that means I can pick up those 2 in the aviary and make a set with my 3rd in my hand. The other cool thing about the Full Feather expansion is these dual cards. These cards connect different birds to each other so that they can be interchangeable when making a set. And then sometimes we get cards that have a bird plus a moose, which means you can make a set with, if you have moose in your hand, with that bird. And each round of the migration phase, it's called, for the Full Feather expansion, one of these dual cards is added at random. And so it ramps up the excitement about making sets with these cards as those dual cards get underway. So that's the Full Feather expansion cards, with the 3 different types of cards: the base one, the dual, and the aviary. And then finally we have the Wildlife Special expansion. Like the Full Feather expansion with a migration phase, this one includes a zoo break phase. And so these will be shuffled separately from the play area, and the dealer will send out 1 per phase to each player. And then each player gathers their zoo animals through the zoo break until they are able to connect them in a set. You can do 3 of the same kind, but per the rules, you can actually have them be collected by habitat. There are 9 animals, and they're from 3 different habitat types, like swamp or plains. So if you have 3 different animals, but they all connect with the same habitat, per the rules, then that is considered a set as well. And then you've got rules and variations that include moose and things like that. So thank you for taking the time to look at this unboxing, and we really hope that you can help us reach these stretch goals so that every game includes the expansions. And yes, that's right. If we reach those stretch goals, it means every single game, Duck Duck Mousse, that is shipped to backers and sent to retailers will include all of the expansions, right? As we reach those stretch goals, those expansions are included automatically. The other cool thing is, not for retail, there will be a promo pack of 10 additional cards. That'll include some rule variations, but it'll also include special unique cards that are designed only for the campaign, which we're really looking forward to. So hope you can help us get us there, and we're really looking forward to playing Duck Duck Mousse with you all in the future.